Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Aris Greece Build Nation, and what a way to kick off this episode than to announce that the board are thinking about making a new stadium. The plans are in the stadium are in the new process and they're looking for investors. The current ground is an old venue and the maintenance costs are too high. So we could be seeing the Otto Heimhagel Arena only after a couple of years in management. That would be outrageous, but if they do it, it would be great. If not, I'm sure it will be an Aris Club legend. But on this episode, we're going to see Greece's qualifying, the preview to the season, and so much more. Before the start of the season, we had some World Cup qualifiers to play with Greece, and we put Israel to the sword 4-1. We kicked off with a goal, but they came back, Lil Barda, their best player, putting them back into their game, and after that it was all us. We switched up the tactics a little bit and then we hit them for 3 more. Konstantinos, the Pauk man, kicked off with the great ball in, and then it was tapped in by himself as he finished his move off. Going into the third goal, we had so many chances and it was a quickly worked free kick, and Danis puts it 3-1. And then to round off the game, we came forward once more in the 91st minute once the game was done, and Bazikatas finessed it into the corner. Lithuania were then our next victims, a 6-1 home thrashing. We absolutely dominated them and put them to the sword in this game. Leaving the group standings like this, Greece top of the group with 12 points, 15 goals, 3 conceded, 4 wins, no draws, no defeats. Switzerland, as we beat them in the first game of the qualifying, they are second with 9 points and looking strong. North Macedonia and Israel are fighting it out for third and fourth, but Lithuania and Malta are the whipping boys of this group. All we need is one Swiss mix up, and I feel like we've won this group. Come on, the boys, let's get Greece to the World Cup. Our summer transfer window is one of the craziest ones I've ever had on Football Manager. We have had some big outs, some big ins. There's been player unrest. There's been players that want to join that can't join because of we've got too many foreign players. There's so much going on, but let's go through it. We had a bid from Brighton for 9 million for Cohen Castells, and he wanted to leave the football club. 9 million in the Greek league, if you didn't know, is hella money. So he had to go. Ramirez wanted a new deal. Had to go because he wanted 30 grand a week. We're not paying that to a striker that's so inconsistent. Mbeso, £4 million. We brought in so many defenders, as you'll see. We just didn't need him. Lauren, again, wanted a new contract, wanted big money. We shipped him out. Briga and Albidoka were the same as well. Matarita had to go because we needed to bring in another foreign player, and he was taking up one of the slots, and we brought in like 3 left backs. So he was just 4th choice left back. Didn't need him. He was out of the club. But our signings have been, I think, incredible. We've got Killian Fischer from Bayer Leverkusen for a few £1 million. The German has already played 3 games for us. He's already been very influential in this season so far. He's going to be a star player for us. He's on big money for the Greek league. This is a player, again, I feel like we can build up and sell on and keep making profit on. That's always going to be the aim in the first few seasons. We've taken a bit of a gamble on a Partizan striker called Samdar Bazdar. One of the replacements for Lauren and Ramirez is the young Serb. He can play across the front line and in central midfield. He's very much a utility man. He's one for the future for sure. We know Partizan Belgrade always bring through the best strikers. Could this guy be another player like Luka Jovic? That sort of ilk. If he does anything like that for us, he's going to go for big money to someone else. But I'm hoping he has success here. Other players we've brought in as well. Brenner holds a special place in my heart. He was part of my very first YouTube series, and he's going to be part of this series as well. The Brazilian striker was playing in Udinese, didn't get a game for them after some decent form at Cincinnati. He's already kicked off his Champions League and his Greek Super League with goals. He's going to be a player that I know is going to get better than this. He's a guy who won me the Europa League on my Fenerbahce save. He's going to be the guy that's going to be so important for goals going forward this season. Other players that I want to point out that we hadn't signed before on the last episode is Christos Mandas. As Castells went, we were scrambling around for a goalkeeper. We needed Greeks, as I've always been saying, and he's coming. He's now number 1 because our other number 1, Diego, broke his arm. We're going for 195k, and I think for them stats, he's been fairly good. Again, he's a backup goalkeeper. We struggle to get a quality goalkeeper, and we're trying to get in a new gen goalkeeper, but he wants £7-8 million, and we couldn't pay it. He was only 19. We've gone for experience. Maybe next season is the time to bring in a better GK, but these two will be battling it out for number 1 this season. Other players that we signed since the last episode are Ramadan Sobi. I've taken a gamble on the Egyptian. It's a 1-year deal, and he's starting it off like he wants to play for the club next season already. He's scoring goals in every competition. He's one of our best forward line players. Stoke fans will remember that this guy had some unbelievable talent. He just didn't live up to that hype. 28 years of age now, in his prime, at Aris, under Heimhagel. He's going to be able to get the best out of him. I can see this guy becoming one of the beasts of this save and becoming one of our top players that gets sold on for big money. One last player I do want to point out is a young player, a new gen that we got from Cadiz. He's got bags of potential to be one of the best strikers at the club. Spanish, Jose Manuel Mendez. Looks like a fairly good player. He's got great finishing. He's going to work on his pace, technique, determination, and bravery. He's a very good young striker. We got him for 600k. He's already worth 5.8 million. So there's always big money to be made there. But these guys are going to push us forward. But what we're going to do now is what we haven't done on this series is take a look at the other big rivals in the league and see what they've done and see if they can push us any further this season. First up are our biggest rivals in this save. It is Olympiacos, and they've not made any real signings, to be perfectly honest. They've spent 275k and made 325k. The only player of note is Ionut Radu, in on a free from Inter Milan. A goalkeeper we should have probably signed, to be honest, but they're going to be our biggest competition. Olympiacos are the strongest team in the league. Their squad, well, their squad is all right. I wouldn't say it's the best, to be honest. They've got some very decent players in the squad. Just for defending, man like Jafakake Tanganga is one of their best players, former Tottenham wonder kid. He's very good at Olympiacos. He's on big money, but Jafakake is not the only player that they have. They've got Andreas Ndoye, who is now a Greek international and becoming one of the best Greek defensive midfield players on the game. He's very good for them. He's very good for my Greek national side as well. Moving down, they've got players like Mady Kamara, always a very good central midfield player. But we've got Seko Fofana, so we don't need Mady Kamara. All in all, their squad is going to compete with us, I would imagine, for the rest of the season and probably till the end of time. But I feel like, again, we're in a better place to win the league than what Olympiacos are. Second biggest spenders in the league, AEK Athens, have made some good signings. They've signed Gideon Mensah, Nicolas Martial, Thomas Delaney on a free, Carrera, Mario Lemina, and Gabriel Stresosa on a free. And they've made some good outs as well. They've made more money than they've actually spent. They've sold Ihan Munoz, John Pacheco, Paulo Fernandez, and Zini are their biggest transfers, as well as getting some of their squad out of the way. Gideon Mensah, he's a good player at left back. I feel like he's going to be a very good player for AEK Athens. He's a great player for the Greek league. He's going to help push the Greek league forward, in my opinion. Other players that I feel like are going to be very good is Thomas Delaney. Yes, he's in the twilight of his career, but he's bringing a lot of experience to the league. And AEK will be one to watch this season. Can they finish better than third like they did last season? Can they push us more than Olympiacos? With that transfer window and Olympiacos' transfer window, I think AEK could do very well this season. Taking a quick look at their squad after their transfer window, they've got some recognisable names. They've got Axel Tuanzebe in their squad. He's another very good centre-back. Was very good for them last season. Played pretty much every game, but does have injury problems. They bought Francesco Totti. No, I can't keep saying it. Totti, another centre-back they bought from Wolves. Plays most games for them. Very good. They're solid at the back, AEK. They normally play a 5 as well, so they've got some very good centre-backs. And going forward, their forward line, Mario Lemina will add something in the midfield, as I mentioned. But Pineda is their main guy. This guy is unbelievably cracked. He's got 33 goals in 98 games for them, coming from midfield or left wing. That's incredible. This guy is a Mexican beast. If you haven't had him, go out and get him. And then they keep faith in Ezequiel Ponce up front, who doesn't really score that many goals for them. 51 appearances, 28 goals isn't a bad return. But I feel like they're going to be second best this year because Aris are always the best. It's a shame to see, but Panathinaikos have spent no money and made 110k. It's profit at the end of the day, but none of these players stand out to me. I'll be honest with you, I haven't really heard of any of them. Marin Svetko is the only one I kind of have heard of. The Croatian plays at centre-back. I mean, their squad is not very good. I'm going to show it to you now. Panathinaikos is a shame. They used to be one of the teams growing up I used to like watching. But to be honest, in my save, they haven't really done it. Cedric Suarez brings the experience. The former Arsenal man, Fulham man, and Southampton man is one of their best players, and he's 34 years of age. It's shocking the way that the AI has built this squad. But going forward in their forward line, I like to say they've got some very good forward players. Fostas Iondonis, I've definitely killed his name, but he is one of the best Greek strikers on the game. I tried to sign him this summer for Aris, but he wanted 25 million. and I thought we can get better strikers for 25 million. I was just trying to buy him because he was Greek, but he's always scoring against me. He's not really done it in the national team, but he doesn't really get the best chance because Palvidis is overpowered. But Olympiacos overall are going to be better than Panathinaikos this season. It is hard to say, but here we are. They're the best teams in the league, and I feel like we've had the best window. The Greek Super League has gone up the rankings again this season. Not as dramatic as what they did when we won the Conference League, but we are now above the Norwegian Premier League, the Czech First Division. We are getting there. We're closing in on the Turkish Super League, the Swiss Super League, and the Austrian Premier Division, and getting closer to the SPL. But obviously, the Premier League is obviously the best. That's going to be hard to take it over. But I feel like we can get at least into the top 5 with the Greek League. We're better than the Eredivisie. League 1, Uber Eats has only got PSG. That's about it. So hopefully, if we can overtake teams like that, then yeah, here we go. It's going to be tough building this nation, but we're slowly and surely getting there. It's only early in the season, but after that transfer window, we are top of the league. 3 wins, 0 draws, 0 defeats, 8+ goal difference, 9 points. Our players are not dominating the league yet. Clean sheets has been, kind of one of the things, but it is only 3 games. We can't read much into this at the moment, apart from it's going to be the usual suspects that are going to be challenging us. I mean, let's go and see. I feel like we're going to smash the league again. We had an unbeaten season last season. How many games do you think we can get unbeaten? Let me know in the comments below. And the person who is right, I will give them a prize. We've also qualified for the Champions League phase again, and I think this year our fixtures are a little bit easier than what we've had before. Borussia Dortmund away will be a tough game, but Young Boys is 3 points. We beat Bayer Leverkusen before. That could be another 3 points. Manchester United, well, it's Man United. They could flop. They're not very good in real life, but they are great on my save, to be honest. So you never know. But at home, we are still unbeaten at home in the Champions League, which is unbelievable. So we could even get a point. We did it against Man City last year. Who's to say we can't do it against United this year? PSV away, well, we could beat PSV away, in my opinion. I feel like we're better than them. We're a better club. I'm just confident, lads. I'm just confident. And then we've got Shakhtar away again, another winnable game. And then to round it off, we've got FC Porto at home and AC Milan away. We played AC Milan away last season. We had 10 men. They beat us 2-1. We've improved since then. But it's AC Milan. I don't expect anything. Porto at home, we could beat them as well. I'm very confident we get through to the knockout rounds of the Champions League again. I don't think we go any further than that, but I feel like we're going to have a good season. We are going to finish this episode as we started it with games in the World Cup qualifiers with Greece, and we put Malta away, 5-0 away from home. It's exactly what you would expect. Palvidis is starting to score goals for the national side now, but the performance was unbelievable from the lads. We did not relent. We scored goals, and we've got our striker scoring, which is something I've always wanted for this side. After Malta, we had a tough home game against North Macedonia in a big derby, but we absolutely battered them. This team is going places. Liminos, one of the subs, put us in front 33 minutes into the game, and we didn't look back at this point. It was an unbelievable performance from everyone on the pitch over these 2 games. We've shown spirit. We've shown that we're not going to bottle it. And Zagaratis from left back put an absolute quality finish past the goalkeeper to make it 2. One of the best goals in the game. But before halftime, we wanted to put the game to bed. And that's exactly what we did. As Basiketas fell Palvidis, and Palvidis made it 3 goals in 2 games. Those games meant that our World Cup qualification is now almost secured. It's the perfect run with the national side. 6 games in, 6 wins. No defeats, no draws, plus 24 goal difference, only conceding 3 goals as well. 5 points clear of the Swiss. And look at that, Lithuania are now 3rd in the group. I would not have expected that at the start, as I mentioned. But Switzerland, they had that one slip up, like I said, right at the start of the episode. They got a very contentious draw against the North Macedonians. Sakaria put them 1 up in the first minute, but Bargi came back and absolutely probably secured our qualification, because it doesn't matter now. In the next few games, we have got Switzerland away and Israel at home. Switzerland could beat us and we'll still be 2 points clear. We'll beat Israel at home and we finish off our qualification with Lithuania away and Malta at home. Those are going to be 6 points. It's not going to be enough for the Swiss. The Swiss need us to slip up. We're not going to slip up. I'm hoping we're going to the World Cup